Hello everyone, it's Kirsten here and welcome to my channel. And it's Friday, so it's a day off from Dephemerember, but I've got my Dephemerember journal out. And that's because I'm going to work on it today. I said work on it, not work in it, because I have a problem. My journal is just about full, and whereas normally you just end up gator mouthing it maybe, because it's in this ring binder, it's actually an issue because it's very difficult now to get things. If I press, you see they pop out. Now you can do it halfway through, but of course we're not working halfway through, we're working, well, I'm working at the end of pages. So the back, this one had a lot to do with it. The old saga of the great Effie, because that was a thick one in its own right, and then we had pockets and then tags in pockets and a wee notebook, and so I'm going to take all these things out. And then of course I had my extra 2 pages on the back. I've got my prompt list on the front with my prompts in, and then I did my opening page, which wasn't really an opening page and I didn't realise. I'm going to take these out the way. So I've already taken the back covering off. I've saved the fabric bits that were round about. I wasn't able to save the paper, it just ripped. Wonder where that's come from. Put it there. And I took off the back paper. That came off relatively easy. Oh, get the roller away from the magnets. I love the way this is printed onto here. And I've also done, because yes, before I go into what I've also, the other bit I've also done just now is, if you got these same folders that Barbara and Louise suggested we get, then you'll know they came in a 2-pack. And I did wonder about just, you know, putting them together, because actually if I put these 2 folders, oh, let's shut that again. If I put these 2 folders together, look, it's the right thickness for my journal. My paper, my fabric that I made actually fits on the spine. I need to decide what to do about whether to move that or have 2 spine dangles. Maybe have 2 spine dangles. So that was where we kind of got to, and I thought, well, actually, you can already see what I thought, because I cut out a hole because I've not made my door yet. And I thought, why not have a door into the next journal? And then I thought, actually, it makes much more sense to have the door going all the way through into the next journal. I think I might have an issue. I've got this far so far, but I think that what's going to happen is, once that fabric's on there, I think this isn't going to, the whole thing's going to come over there. Oh, and then that'll open that way. I just need to make sure I've got the mechanics of this right, because that's going to be attached on there. So I think actually what I need to do is, I don't want the spine being attached to the spine, because I think actually having the spine attached means that's not going to lie down. What I then now need to think about doing then is, I've got that spine uncovered, but that will mean, once I've sorted out the rest of it, it's all right when it's shut, but when it's open, so when it's open like that, for example, that spine will be open there. So I need to think about covering that bit probably. And there'll be a kind of hole the whole way up there. But when it's shut, although see, that's interesting because then it didn't want to shut over. This might not work. And the door doesn't seem to be quite in the right. Despite all my careful measuring, the door seems to be in a slightly different place than both. No, I think it's actually all right. I think it's actually all right. I think what I need to do is I need to glue this door together, these two together, and then I'll have a better idea as to how. Of course, this fabric stops this shutting properly anyway. Can you see how that one, well, I mean that one will shut as well, but actually there's a spring in this because of the fabric down in these folds, because I didn't like the metal showing. I think the first thing I've got to do is stick the doors together and see whether that works, because if that doesn't work I'll have to pull it all apart again. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to stick them together and I'll be back when I've done that. I've stuck together my two door frames, shall we call them, and I now want to stick together the two doors because I'm going to make one door, but as part of that I'm actually going to put on this bit of fabric in between the two. Now it will come, I'm going to use some 3-in-1 to do this because it should get me a really, this bottle's nearly empty. I'll just keep on getting these big globby bits when I store it upside down. This might take, I'm going to put you on pause while I, oh no, it's coming. Sometimes this glue is taking a long time to come out at the moment just because it's getting near the end. But I'm putting the bit of fabric on, it's not really coming out. I'm putting the bit of fabric on because that will end up being my hinge for the door. So let's get the bit of fabric on first and then we'll worry about getting the rest of the door on, I think. Because I might need to go digging. I do have a new bottle somewhere. However, the new bottle, I'm pretty sure, is at the back of the spares. I've got a cupboard that's got all my spares in. And then you forget what's in there as well. I'm not sure if that's enough glue. I'm going to stick this on near the top of my door. I'm leaving a space at the bottom because I need to make the door slightly smaller, but I want to wait until I've got them stuck together before I do that. If I don't make the door slightly smaller, then the door's going to stick, because by the time I put stuff round the door, I haven't decided quite yet, but there will be some kind of, whether it's fabric or just even thick paint, so the door will be slightly smaller, so I need to make sure it doesn't stick. So I'm going to, let's see, sometimes after you've had it open for a bit you then get a big, yes, there's some more coming out now. No, there isn't some more coming out really. Let's make sure I've got this the right side. So I wanted to square it off in that corner because that will be the hinge for the door. This hinge will be underneath something else. At the moment I'm trying to decide what to do. I've dyed some more of this fabric. I've not quite got the same colours in it, but that doesn't matter. I've covered this bit here, which I said was, once I do that, I don't need to, I've gone down a little bit, but I don't need to go down further than that because you're not going to see it because it's dark. And I've done the same at the other end. I'm still debating how to extend. I do have both this fabric and this fabric. I do have some more of both of those. However, I don't have any more of this blue fabric. and I'm wondering whether just to do a strip of this down here, not convinced about that, or to just do, I'm more convinced about doing a strip of the blue, or whether to make patch up. I can't decide whether to put another bag in it. I might put back, actually, I've just had rings, couldn't remember the word then. So if I do that, let's do it that way around. If we do that and join that on there, so the only thing I've got to decide now is whether I want to do anything as just pull that off. Oh, I know what I could do. When I made my journal, this is a bit, now I could dye that up and use that, just put that on, or I could use this. That might be cool. That might be cool. There's nothing else of that fabric on here. That's the only thing with doing that. There's also more of the pale fabric. Oh, there's the bit that I further dyed. I think I quite like the idea of putting this on. And then there's a bit of Lottie on this bit as well. Which side do I don't see? I quite like that side, because that side's, as much as I like that side's a bit more yellowy. And when it's over this way, oh, I don't know, because there's some browns on that as well. No, I think that way around, actually, because you can still see the numbers and the, like, I don't know what it's supposed to be, but I think it looks like a giant fingerprint. So I've got this far so far. I thought I'd bring you back just to see how far I'd got. I've covered my rings, which I think is where I left off with you last time. I've put a layer of fabric round like at the other side, and I've put a picture. This is a different one from the one that was on the back originally, which was the other half of this, but I had this, so this was left over from the saga of the great Effie. So I put this one down. I've sewn my extra flap, and I added a couple of bits of this fabric in it as well. I've then done a dense zigzag to give it the strength to hold. That works really quite well. I'm still not 100% happy with the front. I don't like the fact this is here, and I've had a wee fiddle, and it's stuck on with 3-in-1, and it really doesn't want to, oh, that wasn't supposed to happen. It really doesn't want to come off, but actually I wonder if I can get that off. Oh, that's better. I can use that somewhere else, although it doesn't have the tape bit on it, but actually that's better. I prefer that. I wonder if I can now get this off though as well now. I wasn't expecting this to be another, oh, there we go. I've got it off. Hooray! So now I've got 2 bits I can use again. Although that bit's a bit kind of, it's not too bad, not too gluey. There we go. I've got some glue left behind there, but actually it doesn't really show. There we go. And then what I need to do still is sew my buckles back on. And I think I'm going to sew them on so actually it would end up coming out like that, so that when it's both full, it's not straining. So I've still got to sew my buckles back on, and I've still got to, of course, stick the back on. In fact, I think that's probably what, oh, I've got to decide about this, because although I'm not going to, in fact, if I do that's the other thing I can do. I can now hold that over and see what will happen. See, that's going to be okay. That will open. That will open. I mean, it's not, but as long as I don't stick the back, it's going to be okay. As long as I don't stick the spine. But I think what I'm going to do, the next thing I'm going to do, oh, get threads all over the place. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put it, I've decided I'm going to have a double dangle. And what I might do is I might put the other dangle down a bit rather than it being up the side. So there's actually 2 dangles. Or do I even do 3 dangles and then even maybe weave through? Oh, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put, oh, I'm not going to be able to get down here though. I could use my Japanese hole punch, but then I'm not going to be able to squish it. I could squish it with, I can squish it. I think I can squish it. I'll be back. I've now done all the bits that I was going to do for just now. I decided not to put the wee buckles back on just because it didn't look right with the buckles on this time. I've just put instead the magnets on the inside of the fabric, and if it starts to get too big, I'll do a wrap round. I'll sew something on that that can then be taken round. We've still got to finish the door, of course, but the back's finished and it's now stuck on. And as you can see, it will open. I mean, it is what it is, but that's okay. That's okay. The door I have trimmed down, so now you see the door's slightly smaller than the opening. That allows me to do what I'm going to do with it, that I'm still debating a bit. I might, oh, that will pull off. Oh, I like that. I'm going to keep that. That's cool because it's got a texture on it as well. Okay, you're distracting again, Kirsten. I'm just terrible at that. I get distracted too early, too easy. My daughter says that the character in Ice Age, squirrel. No, that wasn't Ice Age. That was Up, wasn't it? That's me. She says that character was based on me because if I see something, I get distracted too easy. Especially if it's something kind of, oh, that's interesting. Oh, that's fun. Oh, look at that. There we go. This is, now I wish I'd discovered I could peel this off before I'd stuck that new cover on the back. It's on there, isn't it? It's inside there now. Never mind, I've got those wee bits. I might actually do something. In fact, I almost will do something with them in the journal to remind me of what's hiding underneath there. Of course, I've ended up straying from where I'm supposed to be. I'm peeling off all this pattern. Makes me want to now see if I can do that with other things. Right, so what I now need to do is to attach. At the moment you can see all the way around it, but that's just because, oh, I need to just made it a bit thinner this way, I think, as well. I'd have taken a bit off, but I'll take a bit more off that. And I need to decide what I'm doing with my door because I haven't actually really decided that yet. So let's see, that's nice and square. Let's just go over a wee bit and take off this, because although it's 2 thick layers of board, as you will see in a second, it does actually cut through quite readily, because in the end of the day a nice sharp scalpel and paper, which is after all it is, the paper, the scalpel will always win out. We're nearly through. One more pass. No, there's a wee bit still caught down the bottom here. There we go. There we go. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, as they used to say in the adverts. And now that'll fit as a door. Actually, I should really open that way, shouldn't it? And probably if I'd been better organised, putting this in between the two boards would have been a better idea, but hey ho. So there we've got that, and what I'm hoping is I'll still have that lip that I made to sit it on, so that it will stay shut like that.